Excited to be here. Excited for what's happened and excited for really what we've accomplished here in a really short period of time. So what I'm going to do is take you through a little bit of kind of what we've seen, what we've learned, and what we've accomplished so far. And then what we're doing here is we really prepare ourselves and move to the next stage of the social commerce revolution. So first, we've accomplished quite a bit already. We've launched and proved the social commerce model actually works. We have over 140,000 members who have come and put their hand up and said, Solavei is interesting, I want to participate. That is an amazing, amazing feat. There's a lot of folks out there who wondered if this kind of approach could work, especially in as complex a business as mobile services. And we've actually proven that, hands down. We've also built a very, very solid base of members who are informed, who are motivated, who are prepared. And the amazing thing is, and for someone who's actually spent the last 20 years working in the mobile business, our membership is better equipped to handle and answer and explain mobile services questions than most of the retail reps and the top operators around the world. And that is amazing when you think of that. People just coming in, getting acquainted with who we are and what we do. And then we've got, folks figuring out how they go configure their phones and how they get people set up and what they deal with porting issues. It's amazing, the incredible amount of effort and learning, and then the motivation and excitement of the membership around making the social commerce revolution come to life. Next, we've delivered a complex set of platforms and processes and partnerships, all to support this rapidly growing model. And a lot of that now is in place, and we're really beginning to see the benefits of scale and the benefits of all the hard work that went into setting up this amazing, amazing effort and all the things required to support this effort in social commerce. And last, and most importantly, we've created a foundation now to impact millions of people's lives. That now we actually can grow from here and build from here. And when we talk about this march to 1 million members, we're not kidding about that. We absolutely intend to go do that. That is part of our mission. And that's, by the way, only the first step. But that is something that to prepare for that, there was a lot of work that went into that. But a lot of that work has been done. And now we need to take the next steps to move forward and continue to build. So now, in addition to all this, we've also learned quite a bit. We've learned that the entry cost to get into this business is an absolute essential and critical element to viral growth. To be able to go and very simply explain this opportunity to someone and have them start to get involved immediately is a critical part of making this thing explode around your social networks and really take off around this market and better markets and bigger markets and all the kind of great stuff that we'll see happening around the world. But it's all about that first cost. It's all about that first conversation and first decision. And we know that that's a critical element. Next, trios, the power and the potential around 3. 3 is a magic number. 3 has incredible power around it. And collecting people up in 3s is an amazing, amazing concept we've seen come to life in this company and its growth. However, it can also be a challenge. A challenge when it comes to getting the visibility to know exactly what's happening in your network and being able to calculate and administer that, to be able to understand what happens and the potential of members actually getting lost underneath someone else's partial trio and all kinds of strange things that can happen if the trio isn't fully formed. So we've accepted and I think are quite heartened by the power of the trio, but also accepted there's some challenges around the trio. Our rank capabilities and the way that we have rank as part of our compensation. We have 15 ranks out there today, and they're really just too numerous, and they're too complex, and many times too close together. And what's happening is that it's not actually driving the intended behavior. We've had members that have actually advanced through ranks in a matter of weeks, and that's not really what was intended. This is supposed to be an achievement, something that is increased value with increased effort, and something that is rewarded and recognized, and a pretty big deal. And we've seen a lot of stuff happening around people rolling through ranks. And the reality is that we need to evolve it such that we're really getting the kind of behaviors that will get us to the 1 million members and beyond, that will help us impacting millions of people's lives. I think the last part here, and probably one of the most critical, is as we look at the overall compensation structure and the plan that we set in place, it was intended to drive certain behaviors. Foremost being that which is the foundation of our business. We are powered by relationships. And the intent had been that people would come in, join Solavei, tell their friends and family, bring them into the business, and then help them bring in other people into the business. However, the reality is, in the way that our compensation has been structured, there really is, quite frankly, the opportunity to come in and some cases not even get your first trio. However, start to actually benefit from the sheer network effect that happens and is continuing to happen and explode within our business and start to collect income. That's not what was intended with the compensation plan. The compensation plan is intended to reward those who do the work and to continue to reward those who do more work with more compensation. And it's supposed to be very straightforward, and it's supposed to help drive and emphasize the personal effort involved in helping us together build this business. So we've realized that there's some challenges and some opportunities there as we advance this business. So now what do we do about it? Well, one of the things we've already done, and you've already begun to see the benefits, is we significantly reduced the cost of entry. We removed that $49 enrollment fee. Those of you who have been in from the beginning remember what it's like to be attempting to go explain the service to someone and then tell them that in addition to paying your monthly service, you've got to pay an enrollment fee. That was a challenge, so we removed that from the business. We also have significantly reduced the cost of SIM cards. When we started, it was $29 to get a SIM card. And now it's $9 to get a SIM card. And actually, it's free if someone hands you one that already has one out of our bulk SIM program, or free if it's included with a GSM Nation phone that's already pre-configured and already has a SIM card included. So we've really significantly reduced that fee. And then last but not least, as it relates to new phones, when we started, we had some pretty high-priced phones out there. Well, now with our partnership with GSM Nation, we have phones as low as $125. They're continuing to drive that down over time. So flat out, what I want you to understand is we get the concept around getting people in this business. We absolutely want this thing to be going viral, and for everyone who's excited and who wants to participate to be able to get in as cost effectively as possible. And to do that, we've taken some pretty significant steps. The other step we've done is we've moved away from our original model, which at first we were selling new phones. And that was a pretty cumbersome part of the business. It had a lot of cost involved to it. And for our members also, it was hard to be the person who's actually selling phones. What we've done is we've moved to this indirect model now with our partnership with GSM Nation, and that has given us now the opportunity to really focus on our core business, which is social commerce. And then GSM Nation focuses on the handset business, which is what they are expert at. I think the final comment on all of this is just an appreciation that all of these changes absolutely necessary, absolutely helps us with viral growth, absolutely helps us with reducing the entry cost. However, it results in fundamental changes in our existing and original business model as it relates to the money we bring into the business and the margin of that business. And everyone just needs to appreciate that changes the dynamics in terms of therefore the distribution of all the value that we bring into the business. So what additional changes do we need to make based upon what we've learned? I think one of the big ones is simplifying the way that trios are qualified and counted. So what we're going to do from here forward, as we look into this new month and as we look into this new compensation plan, we are going to actually have it very simple. Someone comes in, they enroll, they activate their mobile service, and 15 days later, they now become qualified. We get paid, you get paid. Simple and easy. And every month, at the end of the month, if they're active, if they've paid their bill, they continue to be qualified. Very simple to understand, very simple to count. The other thing we've done is we're going to significantly reduce and simplify the way that trios are accounted for and counted for. Think of it this way. Take all your PC1 level trios, all the people who you directly sign. At the end of every month, just look at all the actives and divide by 3. As well, look at all the people that they signed, your PC2s. You will be able to simply look at that level. All the actives at the end of the month, divide them by 3. It no longer is going to matter whether this person brought in 2 or this brought in 1. You look at your PC2s, you divide it by 3. Additionally, you look at your entire qualified network, everyone in that network, and you divide it by 3 of all the actives that are there. Now, you'll still have to worry about the 40% rule as it relates to people who are above thousandaire, and I'll show you some of the details of that, so to make sure that your legs are balanced. But the reality is, and the intent is, that everybody counts, that everyone in the network should matter, and they should add up to the total. Because if the work has been done, the profit and the benefit should be shared. Let me show you in terms of a couple pictures here to maybe help bring it across. So first you got the old way, where you used to bring in people and you'd bring in 3 people and that's a trio, and you look at the people they brought in and you really look at how many they brought in, and they have to bring them in these assemblies of 3. And if you have one dude who brought in 2 people and another one who brought in 2, but then that person left, you have a bunch of folks that are just out there kind of lingering around waiting to become part of a trio but not actually being counted for. Well, what we've done now is we made it very straightforward. Take your PC1s, divide by 3. Take your PC2s, divide by 3. Everybody counts. Even to the extended network. Everybody counts. So now hopefully what you'll see is this makes it simpler, it makes it a lot more equitable, and it allows us then also to very simply convey exactly what's happening in your network and for all that value to be fully appreciated as you look at building your business over time. Okay, additional advancements. We're going to now simplify how and when we pay commissions. The concept of paying multiple times per month, quite frankly, it was intended to get people paid sooner, but the reality is it just creates a lot of complexity. A lot of complexity to understand what you get paid and when you get paid, and a lot of complexity to administer and to convey that to people. And especially when you look at a business of millions of people, it just wasn't going to be able to be something that made sense for us long term. So what we're going to do is very straightforward. At the end of every month, you take a snapshot of your network, take a snapshot of your activity. How many actives do you have in your network? You'll be able to see very clearly and straightforwardly what you did, and then therefore what value you created. And then on the 12th of the following month, you're going to get your pay card loaded up with the money that you've earned from the activity from the prior month. Straightforward, simple, and easy. Allows you to build a habit and to train a habit with your teams that you work all month. You know, you make sure you get people in, and quite frankly, you should get them in and enrolled and activated by the 15th of the month, and you should make sure that then you make sure everyone pays their bills and everyone is active on the last day of the month, because that's when you get the snapshot and that's when everybody counts. And then on the 12th, you get your money loaded up and away you go. Straightforward, easy to explain, easy to understand. Second thing we're doing is we're simplifying what ranks are out there. We're reducing from 15 down to 6. This way it'll be very clear, very easy to understand, and every rank will be something that as you move up and through them, will be something that you clearly kind of have reached that level, and it's something that everyone understands and that the value can get properly appreciated. The next we're doing is making sure that we put a proper emphasis on personal activity. You know, like I was saying, there's a lot of folks out there who are doing the work, and they absolutely need to be rewarded for that effort, for bringing in their friends and family, for sharing this message and helping them bring in their friends and family. And we just want to make sure that the compensation plan properly acknowledges and emphasizes and rewards for that. So one of the changes we're going to make here is making sure that you need to get a trio in order to qualify for commission. We actually have folks out there today who are earning path pay who don't even have their first trio. And that was one of the anomalies of the plan, the unintended consequences of what we built. So we're going to be making some changes such that the first thing you need to do when you get in is you need to get your first trio. And then from there, you qualify for the plan. The second thing we're doing was we're increasing the emphasis on personal network within the rank advancement. Now, final changes that are required in order for us to be able to support this business long term and support really the growth that is going to take us to where we want to go, to 1 million members and beyond. As of the 18th, so starting on 3/19, we're going to discontinue the fast action bonus. The reality is that was intended to kind of give people an initial jump start before they actually started getting their trio pay. And now that we've compressed the timing that it takes and compressed the way we measure and reward and exchange value for trios, the fast action bonus doesn't really make as much sense anymore. And quite frankly, it was amounted to a double payment for the efforts people were making to bring in those trios. So we're going to be discontinuing that after midnight on the 18th. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take that path pay bonus, which was really a double pay on path pay and was something really was the first payment you got to the annuity of path, which is really what path pay is about. It's about creating that annuity value for you long term. And we're going to replace it with a different program here that we're going to tell you some more about here in a little bit. And at the end of this month, at the end of the 30th here of March, that's going to be the last time that we will calculate for that path pay bonus, and final payments of that bonus will be made on the 12th of April. And the last thing we need to do in terms of the structural changes here to the front end of this plan is a change to how we reward for the PC2 level trios. So PC1 level trio, it's $20 for every 3 you bring in. It's 3 and it's free. That is a core pillar and tenet to this business, and that is absolutely going to remain in effect. That is what you could get people and should get people focused on. You get in, you get social, you get free. That $20 for every 3 people that you sign up, that is what we are all about, quite frankly. That is the loudest and broadest and most important part of who we are and what our compensation plan is all about. That is the absolute activity we need to reward and continue to reward and focus all our folks on. Now, when it comes to the level 2 trio, when it comes to the work then that those people you bring in do, we're going to be moving that from $20 a month to $10 a month. And that is, quite frankly, is a couple of things. One, it's a different level of effort required to help people bring in trios versus bring them in yourself. We need to acknowledge that. And then over time, when you look at the growth of this business and how we're actually accounting for those level 2 trios now, it just made sense that we moved it such that you could get full credit for all PC2 active individuals, but that in doing that, we needed to reduce how much we paid for every collection of 3 of those. And that'll happen as of April 16th. We'll start paying PC2 level trios at that new $10 level. Okay, so now let me get to the last section of this, which is path, and what path looks like as we move forward. So let me spend a few moments here kind of talking about the path to 1,000 there. So imagine the journey. You come in, you get social, you get 3, you get free. Now you've got 3 trios. Well, now what? You want to continue to grow in the business. The intent is that now you're moving into path. Now you're moving into a different level in the business. You can continue to earn your trios. You can continue to earn your $20 for every 3 people you bring in and $10 for every 3 people that they bring in. And then if you want to do something more, you want to get more reward for continuing to move in the business, now we have these next levels. We have these first 2 kind of advances within path. Social partner. It's $250 per month annuity. It requires 4 PC1 trios. So you've already got your 3. It just requires 1 more PC1 trio. And then a total across your personal network of both PC1 and PC2 trios of 10 trios. And what you'll see here, what we've done is we've put more emphasis on your personal network, on your efforts. But we've actually, if you would look at our old plan, in order to make $250 a month annuity, you would have had to bring in a total of 12 trios across your network. Well, now we're only asking 10 to reach this level. But it's 10 within your personal network, 10 within that area that is you bringing in folks and you helping those folks bring in folks. That is the behavior that's going to drive this business. That is the behavior that's going to drive us all to succeed and to drive us to have the kind of capabilities to reach 1 million members, to impact 1 million lives. That's what's required. You bringing in people and helping them bring in people. So we want to reinforce it through this model. The second key area then is now you move, and a key focus of this business is to reach 1,000 there, $1,000 a month. An amazing, amazing achievement and something that can really impact a lot of people's lives. Well, to do that, you're going to need to get 5 personal trios for yourself. So just imagine you've gotten your 3, you just got your 4th, and you helped out a few people, and you've got a total of 10 in your personal network. And now go get another 3 people. Now you've got 5 personal trios. Go help them get in a few more people. And before you know it, now you're at a place where you've got 18 personal trios within your level 1 and level 2. If you do the simple math on that, that's 54 people. So between yourself, which would be 15 people, and then between you helping those folks out, you need to collect up 54 people within your personal network to be 1,000 there, to make $1,000 per month, plus all the money you'll be making on the PC1 and PC2 trio pay for all those people. Now, that might seem like a big number, but practically speaking, when you get involved in this business and you start to share with people, we have done so much to reduce the cost of entry, to make this simple, to really build the kind of scale that Ryan's talking about when he talks about building scale and momentum for success. Continuing to simplify this plan and simplify this program is what it's all about. Just imagine your conversation with someone the first time you tell them about Solavei, and you tell them they can actually get compensated for sharing Solavei. Think at how simple it's going to be to explain to them, look, it's $20 for every 3 you bring in. Bring 3 and it's free. Go and have them tell a few people about it. And you look at this and you start talking about very quickly how it's possible that if you devote yourself to this, that you can be making $1,000 a month. And you don't have to talk about the broader network. You don't have to talk about, 40% rules. You don't have to talk about any of that with those people. All you need to do is say, look, go get 15 people involved in the business. Go help them get people into the business. And then you can reach these levels. So what we've done is made it a lot simpler to have the conversation, to be able to do the calculations, and to understand the business up to $1,000 a month. And then the last level is what we call kind of our leadership level. And that's when you've moved beyond that. That now you're continuing to advance in the business, continuing to put in the effort, and we want you to continue to load up those PC1 trios. Continue to recruit people directly yourself. You've now figured it out. You are our most powerful engine out there. You know how to bring people into this business, and you should continue to do so and continue to help those people bring people into the business. So we've really kind of reinforced that logic and reinforced that value within, even as we move through the remaining ranks of leadership, with social connector, with social networker, with social director, and then finally with social executive at the top tier of our business. And we've also, because we're actually making it a lot easier to account for and to count those trios so that everyone counts in your broader networks, we've increased the total network requirement at these ranks. However, keep in mind that because it's a little easier to calculate those numbers and a little easier to add up those numbers every month, that these are all numbers that as we build this business to 1 million, that we all can set our sights towards. Now, final qualifier here in terms of the 40% rule again. Just keep in mind, if you build your business uniformly, if you build your business so that you've got a bunch of people participating, and keep in mind that by building it and focusing on your PC1 trios and focusing on your personal network, this will happen. This will be a natural part of building a healthy network. That if you have it evenly dispersed across your network, that then you just take all those people and add them up and divide by 3. However, if one leg grows faster than the other, that up to 40% of that larger leg will count towards your total network contribution. Okay, so let's kind of look at how it all plays out here if you look at timing for these path pay changes. So first, at the end of this month, you are going to reach your final stage in the existing compensation plan, the old plan, to see what rank that you've achieved. Then, as of the 12th of April, you will receive whatever path pay bonuses you have earned based upon that old plan, whatever path pay you've earned based upon that old plan. Now we roll into the new program. On May 12th is the first time we're going to be paying folks based upon the new plan. However, based upon path pay of the old plan you were on, whatever check you got on April 12th, you're going to continue to get on May 12th, just as long as you got it there in April. What we're going to do is say, look, if you have not yet achieved that rank again, if maybe you need to go get a few personal trios, you need to go and fill up your network a little bit based upon the new way that the structure is working, then we're going to pay you on May 12th, just like you were paid on April 12th, to give you the time. And then in addition to that, on June 12th, you're going to start then getting paid on the new compensation. So if you think about it, the month of May is showtime on the new plan, right? You have really what amounts to really almost 1/3 of the total time that we have been a commercial company here, from the time that you understand the new plan to the time that you actually are going to get measured and paid on the new plan. Okay, so you're going to have the month of May then. That is activity under the new plan. And on June 12th, that is when we will actually start compensating under the new plan for the new activity. So you've got time. You're going to get paid based upon the old plan in April. You're going to get paid based upon the old plan in May. And then as of June, then we're cooking with gas. Then we're actually working the new plan and we're working the new opportunity. Okay, now, when you look at this, it really is a reasonable and I think a pretty exciting period of time for you to go and to really start looking at what we've got and how we've got it, and to really start participating. And not just in the kind of annuity that we've been talking about, but there's some other things that Ryan's going to tell you about in a moment here that really make this exciting as you move into the leadership ranks of our business in terms of opportunities for long-term wealth creation. And Ryan will take you there in a second. But before he does that, let me just spend one final moment, because I'm sure a lot of you are looking and thinking to yourself, well, but what does that mean to my existing network? How do I figure out what is going to happen after this new compensation comes in effect? Well, we are going to have all the tools you need within my Solavei to see what's happening in your network when we launch this new program. However, in the meantime, you actually already have at your disposal a pretty good view of what's happening. And let me just take you through how you go into your existing network and how you go into My Solavei and figure out where you stand today. So here's what you do. You go into My Solavei, go into your network tab. You'll see the connection summary chart right at the top of that tab. What that tells you is those are all the connections within your network. What you need to do then is you need to look at that, and you need to also account for certain connections that are not yet or maybe never to be qualified. Therefore, you won't be paid upon them in the old model or the new model, by the way. But in order to figure out where you stand today, you need to take those numbers in that connection summary, and you're going to need to subtract out those people who have not yet activated. Now, keep in mind those people, those might be people who just came in, who have not yet, completed the process. Those might be people that have been sitting out there a while. For some reason, they've not yet activated their accounts. You should look at that and you should see, is there anything that you can account for as to what will happen. But if you don't know what's going on, you should just assume those people are not going to activate, and you'll need to remove them from that number. The second thing you'll need to remove from these numbers is people who are social members only. Now, you say to yourself, how am I going to figure that out? Well, let me show you how. Now, when you go into your personal network tab, within your network tab, you will see all these pretty pictures and you see all these little icons next to them. There's two important things you need to note. So you'll need to go into your personal network and you'll need to look at those pictures. And anywhere you see a red phone with a line through it, that's someone who's not yet activated their service. You'll need to subtract those numbers from that total at the top. The other thing you need to look for is you'll see a little indicator next to people's usernames which says SMO. That's a social member only. You'll need to subtract those. And you'll see in this example I'm showing you here, you had 77 people in your personal network level 1. You've added up 6 of those actually that are either have not yet activated or SMO. That comes to a total of 71 people in your PC1 divided by 3. That is 23 trios. Now, as it relates to your PC2, if you go into that personal network view, you'll see this little icon on the bottom of everyone's little descriptor that is highlighted like and it's something that looks like a hyperlink. That's because that's really what it is. It says PC1 in this example, PC1 equals 4. That means that Heidi's actually brought in 4 people herself. That is your PC2 level. If you click on that, you will get a pop-up that shows you her people, right? And you'll just want to go in there and you'll want to look for your red phones and your SMOs. And subtract your red phones and your SMOs from everyone who's at that PC2 level. And again, you will now know what your total number is. In this example, we found a total of 7 of them. We took them out of the 22. And that then means that there are a total of 5 PC2 trios that you'll be compensated for in this new model. Now, for those of you who are at the leadership ranks, the last area is going into your extended network. And we now have this in a form that is really just a listing of all the folks to make it a little easier for you to see it. Again, you want to go through that and you want to see those folks who have not yet activated. The good news there is you can actually go and sort by that. You'll see a little caret next to the mobile service activated icon there in that column. Go press that button and you'll see all the ends will pop up. The second thing is if you look at the member type, you'll see all the SMOs. You'll need to deduct that from your total. But again, you deduct those 2 numbers from your total. That's how many people in your total network. Now, you should then finally go check your rank tab if you have any issues with 40% rule. But if all your trios have been counting, you don't have any issue with the 40%, and you can merely take your total number and divide it by 3. So hopefully that makes sense to you. We're trying to keep this as simple as possible. We're really trying to get this business prepared for the kind of scale that will help us reach millions of people around the world. And we think we've done a lot of that in helping to make this program simpler and easier to explain, to administer, to compensate, and then to reward and motivate people to go out there and get it done.